I don't know. I really want to open up to you tonight, audience. There's some things that have been bothering me a lot lately. A really big misconception about me and my life is that I'm a crazy cat lady, which I still feel like I'm really a little too young to be getting this stereotype anyway. But it's completely false. It is not a correct accusation at all. To be perfectly honest, the first 12 years of my life, which at this point is still more than half, we owned exclusively dogs, and then we moved to Florida, and then we started to have cats. So I think that counts in my favor for not being a cat lady, because it's, still early in the game. Obviously I can understand why people would think this about me at this point. I might exhibit some behaviors that seem like they would be that of a crazy cat lady, but I'm just here to dismiss those. Maybe I would bother my grandma so much that she would kick me out of my house because I would want to go next door and visit the cat next door who didn't even belong to her and her kittens. And maybe there was my other grandmother's cat who I traumatized so much the first time that I met it that it never liked people again. I think that I'm going to blame that on childhood mistakes, though. I can't really, it's not really something I was conscious of at the time. But then once we did move to Florida, we did have a lot of cats. We had about 6 at a time. But I don't think that counts either. Or the fact that the first thing I did when I moved into my own apartment was I waited 3 days and then I bought myself a cat. I don't think that really counts either, though. I just didn't want it to be an empty house. But I don't know, I don't see why people blame me for liking cats better than humans 9 times out of 10 anyway. People are terrible, mean creatures, am I right? Yeah? Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the spirit. They suck. I feel like if people, say, had a fluffy tail or cute little ears and whiskers and curled up in your lap more frequently, they would be a lot more well-liked. I don't know why people don't catch on to that. But I don't see why that really makes me crazy. It's a misunderstanding. But wouldn't you want to be a cat if you had the chance anyway? Seriously, come on, think about it. People would pet you all the time, they would feed you, they would tell you how adorable you were, and I think the best part is that you could sleep whenever and wherever you wanted. And if you wanted to not be around people, you had a perfectly good excuse and you didn't have to justify yourself because you're a cat. And bonus perk, you could rub your face on anything you wanted to, and it would be okay. If I did that now, you would think I was really creepy, and I've had it happen before. I feel like it's a really natural human instinct to want to just rub your face on soft things like a blanket or someone else's coat. But if I went down to you and I rubbed my face on your legs, what would you say? I don't know, probably you wouldn't like it, and you might call the police, and I don't want that to happen. So I would like to be a cat to get away with it. But besides the point, I feel like I've cleared the air on that issue. I feel like I've given you enough evidence to make your own assertions, and the truth should be fairly obvious. Even if I did want to have a tail, it wouldn't be your place to judge me. We judge each other way too much as people. As I said, we're terrible, mean people. You see a guy peeing on the mall as opposed to in the mall, and he's some kind of crazy. We don't know why he's peeing on the mall. I'm sure he has a really great reason. I can't imagine what on earth it could possibly be, but he's probably got one. And even if he doesn't, he's definitely got the moxie to pee on a very busy building. And that's something I can't say that I would do without assistance. But either way, I would shake his hand for his courage, only if he washed it beforehand, which he probably would not have, because he obviously hates bathrooms as a social construct. But either way, I do like to judge people. I think we all do. That's just a normal part of being human. And basically, I worry though, because I think as a race we are getting smarter and slowly beginning to use more than 10% of our brains. And in that regard, I think we're becoming telepathic. Like, have you ever sat next to a stranger and started to spit mad brain hate waves at them? Just like insulting them in their shoes and thinking they're an idiot. And then they start to like squirm and they look at you funny, like you punched their mother in the face. Well, I mean, it could be a coincidence, or they could be hearing you with their brain. And I think it's more likely than any of you think. Mostly because I have no statistics to prove it, but it's probably the only logical explanation out there. But I would want to have superpowers if it was possible. And it would be neat to be kind of like the X-Men, but without the stupid outfits. And I would totally want something awesome like invisibility, or just like laser hands. So that would be pretty cool too. But I know I would get stuck with something really lame, like telepathic shoe tying, or like attracting birds, but not even like cool birds, just like pigeons. And they would be a completely useless talent. But I mean, now that I think about it, I have to say, if I could have one, if I could be like a superhero in particular, I would do what I did for a friend's party that was superhero themed. And yeah, no, definitely, I would go with Catwoman. So, thank you.